Hey guys, my name's Logan. Today I've got all recent AR and VR news. We've got stuff about the Apple Vision Pro, new games coming to only the Quest 3, and some new experimental features that rolled out in V65. I hope you guys enjoy. As always, all chapters are located down below and all references are located in the description. Feel free to leave a comment and like down below and let me know what you guys think, and I hope you enjoy. It was found that over 50% of Fortune 100 companies have purchased the Apple Vision Pro. These enterprises include KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, SAP, Porsche, Lowe's, ENBW, and those are all the ones that have publicly confirmed using the Apple Vision Pro with custom software. There are lots of competitors in the space of using the Apple Vision Pro for commercial use rather than consumer use, so this is going to be a very, very intense space for Apple to operate in. My personal opinion on this is that Apple's going to eventually really have to decide if they're really targeting consumers or targeting the commercial application of this piece of hardware, and because the trade-offs between the two and what they really need it for are pretty drastic. So it's going to be really important for them to pick a specific space they want to operate in. But the application and the custom software they built for some of these companies was really cool. So I definitely recommend going and checking out all the clips down in the description. Speaking of the Apple Vision Pro and its consumer usage, there was some recent news regarding a cheaper and lighter version of the Apple Vision Pro coming out in June of 2025. So just 1 year away, there have been talks about them releasing a new Lite version of the Apple Vision Pro. This is very similar to the Pico 4S or the Quest 3S that there have been rumors about, basically just trying to make this device cheaper, lighter, slimmer, and easier to use for more users, because the cheaper these get, the more users are going to adopt them and the better the software gets. So this came out of a Chinese news outlet called Wall Street CN. They claim that the headset will weigh about 35% less than the regular Vision Pro, which is about 20% lighter than the current Quest 3. They said that they're expecting to produce at the level of tens of millions, while the current Vision Pro is at hundreds of thousands, which is 100x on the volume that they expect to sell. Apple has been testing micro OLED displays from 2 different Chinese suppliers. This could be one of the best ways that they find to bring down the cost of the Apple Vision Pro or the lighter version of the headset. Currently, the micro OLED displays they use in the Vision Pro alone cost $700 just on the manufacturing side of the headset, so getting that cost down could be a significant cost driver for the new Lite version. This is separate from the Vision Pro 2 set for 2026 that we discussed previously. This is simply a light version of the Vision Pro, so this will have less compute power, less capabilities, but be at a probably more functional price range of $1,500 to $2,500. The Quest 3 is Meta's current state-of-the-art line of headsets, and because of that, a lot of games are now starting to come out for just the Quest 3 and are not going to be available for the Quest 2. Let's look into some of those games. Starship Home was the first confirmed Quest 3 only game, supposedly launching in Q3 of 2024. This is a mixed reality game that turns your room into a starship for expeditions to explore the plant life in space. Laser Dance, developed by a creator of Cubism, turns your mixed reality space into a laser dodging game. You're going to be moving in and out of lasers trying to get to the target on the other side of your room, and this is going to be a Quest 3 exclusive game. Hello Dot is a mixed reality game where you have a pet that you can play with, and this includes hand tracking capabilities as well. So this is going to be more of just a virtual reality functioning pet that you get to hang out with and play with on the go. Batman Arkham Shadow is the first game published by Oculus Studios exclusively for the Quest 3. I believe it's going to be a first-person Batman gameplay, but we have not seen any trailer or gameplay footage yet, but I think this game is going to be very cool and very popular. As you can see on the YouTube video they posted of the trailer, it's gotten a lot of heat and backlash, but that's because most of the Batman community doesn't play in VR, just like how most of society doesn't play in VR. So this game's getting a lot of heat right now because they want to see a good Batman game on PC, but I'm extremely excited for a good Batman game in VR. I'm definitely going to pick this up when it comes out. Last but not least, we have Alien Rogue Incursion. This is a single-player action horror title based off of the Alien movie franchise. This is also supported in PC VR, which is very interesting. You're not going to be able to download this game through the Quest 2, but it may be possible to use PC VR with your computer in order to play this game through the Quest 2, but it will only be available exclusively on the Quest 3 rather than the Quest 2 and Quest Pro headsets. Looking at a lot of these games, the first 3 we discussed being Starship Home, Laser Dance, and Hello Dot are very much based on mixed reality, which is the obvious reason that it's exclusively for the Quest 3. The Quest 2 only has black and white colored pass-through, so because of that, the Quest 3 is going to be the obvious only headset for that use case of using mixed reality. For Batman and Alien, I expect those to be more graphically intense games, which is the reason that they are most likely exclusively for the Quest 3 or for PC VR, because the compute power and graphical capabilities on the Quest 3 significantly outpace that of the Quest 2. Meta is finally starting to roll out the experimental travel mode on the Quest 2 and Quest 3 for airplanes only. So this can be found in the experimental settings if you're on a stable version of V65, not on the public test channel. This is only available for airplanes. They are saying that it will be coming to other vehicles very soon, but for now, they're really trying to figure out how to get this down at its core level for the airplanes, because it'll be a lot harder to implement for more rapidly moving vehicles such as a car. There was this really interesting thread I found on Twitter about UI mobility from a researcher called CU Pei. They are a researcher and PhD candidate at UCLA who, while interning at Google, posted their thoughts and findings on UI mobility. They categorized UI mobility into 3 main categories, being static, dynamic, and self. Most of VR that we use today is static, meaning that when you place your application or your 2D app anywhere around your world, it's going to stay in that exact location no matter where you move or anything like that, unless you choose to recenter. They also discussed the idea of dynamic and self, which are ways to attach the user interface to a specific entity. So for dynamic, these would be following moving objects that are not the user. These would be connected to an animal running around the room or a car moving on the road. They would be attached to another person or some sort of moving vehicle. Self specifically follows the user and the headset wherever they move. So this would be great for in a car or traveling, where you want it to attach it to just the headset and have it at a very stable location in this person's mixed reality. I find this thread to be so interesting. I definitely recommend you guys go look at what this person has talked about and discussed. I think that this is going to be super, super important for people to start implementing into user interface software for the Quest and Vision Pro line of headsets. And I think that this is really going to change the ability to use these things on the go and really be comfortable using them in different environments. The Quest 3 is now used on Steam as much as the Valve Index, as owners continually upgrade to the Quest 3 over the Quest 2. So as you can see, the Quest 2 clearly takes the cake on the amount of users using it in Steam VR, but the Valve Index is of course going to be more biased for this user base because they're using it on Steam. So even with that biased user base, the Quest 3 is already surpassing the Valve Index for users. This data doesn't include native headset gamers that are only using the Quest 2 or Quest 3, and it's of course going to be skewed for Steam VR users. But all in all, this is just showing that Meta is clearly dominating the market, which we were all very aware of. But it's also to show that clearly the Quest 2 is not going to be completely phased out anytime soon. There is still a huge population of the VR user base using the Quest 2, so I would not be too concerned about losing your Quest 2 software updates anytime soon. There was a new experimental feature found in the Quest 3 called the background audio toggle for 2D apps. This will allow 2D applications to continually play audio for you even as you enter other immersive 3D and game environments. My immediate use case that I can think of is Discord. There has been no good application of Discord into VR yet, which really sucks. It would be amazing to just leave Discord running in the background where I can talk to my friends even while they're gaming on PC, and I can use my headset natively with no additional hardware such as my computer and a different pair of headphones. This could also be great for things like Spotify and YouTube, where users want to be listening to audio while they're doing other work such as working in immersive or playing in a game. One of the last bits of information we have is related to the Quest V65 updates. So this came out a couple weeks ago, so at this point you guys probably already know. There are now panorama and spatial videos that you can upload to your Quest headset through the mobile app. If you saw my video on the V65 updates, this was released horribly. It did not work. It was in the release notes. Even though I was completely up to date on everything, there was no way to upload video to the mobile app. Pass-through continuity has also been significantly improved. Now, when you're using the Quest headset and you're in the lock screen or the shutdown screen, it will keep you in your pass-through environment, which is going to make it a lot more comfortable for new users. There were some mouse and keyboard tracking improvements to where you won't be accidentally opening, closing, and selecting menus. And there was also a new virtual positioning system that was released for people that have a hard time tracking their rooms and leaving consistently. Finally, Razer launched a new Quest 3 head strap and interface accessories that was adapted from the Quest 2 head strap. This honestly has not seemingly been a very popular headset, so I was pretty surprised to see this in the news as much as it was. But I am very excited to see companies like Razer making accessories for the Quest 3 headset. I hope you guys enjoyed all the news today. Feel free to leave a comment and like down below with any critiques or mistakes that I made throughout the video. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time.